Hello, how are you doing? You're doing fantastic? I am glad to hear it. And I'm speaking in English because I know if you're following me, if you're one of my subscribers, if you're even one of my students who pays me money, I know that you want to level up your English. So that's what I'm here for, to help you level up your English. And you're going to do that by listening to me speak English. And this is going to be very simple English, and I'm going to speak a little bit slower than usual. So if you don't understand why I'm speaking slow, then I don't know why you're watching this video, because it's obvious that you do not need to level up your English. You already have fantastic English. Congratulations. And this video, I want to announce to the world that I am a stomach expert. I am a stomach doctor. If you ever have problems with your stomach, then I'm glad you're here watching this, because I'm going to give you all the answers you need, especially if you come to Mexico and you have some stomach problems, because Mexico is very famous for giving tourists, whether they're Latin Americans or they're gringos or Europeans or Asians, whoever it is, stomach problems. And I discovered that firsthand, because when I first arrived here in Mexico about 1 month ago, today is June 10th, 2021, and I arrived in Mexico, I believe, May 5th, 2021. So yeah, I've been here about a month, and in my first week, I had stomach problems. I don't know what caused it. It could have been many different things, but no, I was not eating street food because I knew that I could have problems. Because before coming to Mexico, I had gone on a carnivore diet. I was eating mostly meat. I wasn't eating any carbohydrates besides rice. Rice was the only carbohydrate I was eating, and that was only I only started eating rice maybe a month before coming to Mexico, but I wasn't eating any vegetables. I began eating some fruits again before coming to Mexico, but not a lot. And I wasn't eating, what else wasn't I eating? Yeah, I wasn't eating anything besides rice, some fruits, and lots of meat. So what I believe might have happened is that my intestines, my stomach, all the bacteria that I had 6 months ago to digest corn, for example, or vegetables, they disappeared. At least from some basic research that I looked at before starting the carnivore diet said that yes, your stomach, intestines have special bacteria, and if it's not digesting the food that it's designed to digest, it can disappear. But I could be wrong about this. That is my theory about why my stomach was so weak when I came to Mexico, because I came to Mexico 6 years ago. I came to Mexico and I lived in Guadalajara, where I am right now, for 3 months. And I never had any problems with Mexican food. So when I did get problems in my first week, I was very surprised, but I was certain it was because of the carnivore diet. But again, I don't know what caused the problems, but I had stomach problems. Now, my pronunciation teacher, my Spanish pronunciation teacher, she was the one making me try a lot of food, and she was the one giving me lots of advice. So it seems like the first advice Latinos give gringos when they have stomach problems is, I think we call it baking soda. Baking soda, you guys in Spanish call it bicarbonato. So baking soda and lime and water. That is the first thing that Latinos advise. Now, I love my pronunciation teacher. She's a fantastic woman. But I think most Latinos, when somebody has stomach problems, they assume that it's indigestion or heartburn, but I've never had problems with indigestion or heartburn, probably because I eat pretty healthy. So if you eat pretty healthy, you usually don't have problems with indigestion or heartburn. So she advised me to have some baking soda, lime, and water. So I took it. I don't think it really did anything. I think it's just a temporary fix for Latinos, and yeah, nothing really changed. But luckily my stomach got better, and I wasn't having problems in the bathroom, at least for about a week. In that week, I went to Monterrey for one day, then I went to Tepic for a weekend to go to a Mexican wedding, and then I came back to Guadalajara. And in Guadalajara, about 2 weeks ago, I began to have stomach problems again. And I don't really want to talk about this because, as you know, I am a Latin American sex symbol, and I don't want to turn off the sexy ladies that watch my videos. But yes, for about 1 week, I had diarrhea. I had diarrhea about 3 to 4 times a day, and it sucked. Because I'm not really a person that has diarrhea a lot. I usually don't have stomach problems. It's not something that normally happens to me. So I have had food poisoning in the past. In Bogota, Colombia, about 6 years ago, I had food poisoning, and it was really, really bad. I had horrible diarrhea, horrible stomach cramps, and I was vomiting uncontrollably in the streets. It was really, really bad food poisoning. And here, I might have had food poisoning, but it wasn't as bad as Colombia. But still, 1 week, diarrhea, 3, 4, 5 times a day. That's not something that I enjoy. And it was really difficult to explore Guadalajara when I was worried that I would need a toilet at any second. Because, yeah, that happened to me once or twice when I was in Guadalajara. So I went online, I did some research, and they said, just let your stomach overcome the virus, the bug, whatever it has. But if it's not better within 3 days, you should do something. So I followed that advice. But I did hear that one thing you could do to speed up the process was activated charcoal. So in Mexico City, my first week when I was having stomach problems, I tried to buy it, but the pharmacy that I went to said that they don't have it. So I just forgot about it. But when I was having my issues at the very beginning here in Guadalajara, I bought some activated charcoal. And I took it. It didn't do anything besides make my poop black. So that didn't really work. And after 3 days, I was still having problems. And it wasn't serious because according to the information I found online, it's serious if the diarrhea is bloody. And yeah, I wasn't bloody. I didn't really have stomach cramps. I had like stomach pains, but they weren't cramps. And I wasn't vomiting. I didn't have any dizziness. I felt fine, just lots of diarrhea, which sucked. And online, it also said that you could eat whatever you wanted, because many people, maybe Latinos too, but many gringos believe that when you have stomach problems, you should only eat bread, rice, applesauce, bananas, and I think there's one more thing. But I read a scientific research paper that was done on students that came to Guadalajara just by chance. The best research about this was done on students who came to Guadalajara, so just dumb luck that I was also having stomach problems in Guadalajara. And they did a research study on students, exchange students who came to Guadalajara half of them ate the banana, bread, rice, applesauce diet, and then the other half just ate regular food, and there was no difference in their recovery. But still, I didn't really want to go out and eat tacos when I knew my body was just gonna throw it up out to the other end. But I did eat some tacos. But after 3 days, I want to go to a doctor. I want to become better. So I went to a doctor. Well, it was difficult. I don't really know how to go to a doctor in Mexico or Latin America. In Colombia, I was lucky because I had connections, but here in Mexico, I know some people, but I don't have enough connections to go to a good doctor. So I looked at Google Maps, I found some doctors. I went to one office, they said that there were no doctors there. Then I went to another one, and there was a doctor there, but he wasn't at the office, so I had to make an appointment. So I made an appointment. Now this doctor, he was a homeopathic doctor, and he was a good guy. He was very friendly. He gave me some good recommendations for places that had good tacos al pastor. So I was very happy about that. And I talked to him, and he told me that you have no problems. It's not really food poisoning. Well, maybe it's food poisoning. In Mexico, they call it canicula. I don't think that's the name of the disease, but he just said that when it gets hotter in Mexico, the food ferments more, and this increases the amount of bacteria in the food, and then people eat it and they get stomach problems. And he said everything I described was this Mexican canicula. So I was happy about that. It didn't seem very serious. He said I was gonna be fine. But he did give me some pills. So these are the pills he gave me. I don't want to really show his name. He was a good guy. I'll show you the pills. They look like this. I think you can see it. So they're just like white chewable tablets. And when I took them for the first time, it tasted like sugar with alcohol. But the doctor said just take 5, 4 times per day until there's no more left, and it's gonna fix your stomach. But then I talked to one of my students who is Mexican, and she told me that a very common prescription that homeopathic doctors give in Mexico is sugar tablets with alcohol. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what this is, sugar pills with alcohol. Now, if you're a homeopathic doctor or Latino and you want to explain to me how sugar tablets with alcohol fix my stomach, I would like to know. So I don't think this did anything for me. He said within 2 days my stomach was going to be fine. I took these, I didn't really know it was any difference. So after 2 days, I was still having problems. So I decided I need to know what gringos do. So I went online. And yeah, there's actually some good information online. So this is the important stuff. This is, for me, what actually helped me overcome all my stomach problems. So if you're a Latino in Mexico or you're having stomach problems and you want some gringo advice, here's some gringo advice. And if you're a gringo watching this video, this is some advice. Personally, I think is better than the advice you'll get from many Latinos in Latin America. So, first piece of advice is before you come to Mexico or any place in Latin America, because this can happen anywhere in Latin America, is begin taking Pepto-Bismol every day for 3 weeks before your trip. Now, according to the doctors, after 3 weeks, you can get there can be side effects. Not horrible side effects, but you can begin to see some side effects from taking Pepto-Bismol every day. So careful with that. Again, I'm not a doctor. I just read what the doctor said online according to the research. And according to them, the best thing is Pepto-Bismol every day. You can look it up in Google. But yeah, Pepto-Bismol every day for 3 weeks. And that acts like a preventative. It gets your stomach prepared to eat potentially dangerous food like it can be in Mexico. So if I could do everything all over again, I would have began taking Pepto-Bismol before coming to Mexico. But the research paper that talked about the best way to overcome this type of stomach sickness was Imodium. The scientific name is Loperamida. Very easy to buy in pharmacies here in Mexico, and I'm pretty sure anywhere in Latin America. Again, in Gringolandia, I have no stomach problems. I've never had stomach problems, well, not that often. So I've never took it before, but they said Imodium. So yeah, I bought Imodium and I took it. Basically it said as soon as you have diarrhea, you take Imodium. So I took four Imodiums as soon as I bought it. And yeah, and then after that, I didn't have diarrhea. The next day, I went to the bathroom. It wasn't perfect, but it was much better. So I took some more Imodium because I had, a little bit of diarrhea, but I took some more Imodium. And yeah, the next day, I started to go to the bathroom normally. And I was so excited, so excited. And yes, now I'm fine. One thing for you is that if you have a really serious case of stomach illness, is they say you need to take Imodium as well as an antibiotic. I didn't have a severe case, so they said you just need to take Imodium. But yeah, if the Imodium didn't work for me, I was gonna go and buy the antibiotic in the pharmacy and begin taking that. But luckily, Imodium worked. I didn't have to take it. Another thing that was very interesting before I end this video, I've been talking for a long time, but hopefully this information will be useful for a gringo watching this or Latinos who want to help gringos out so they have a good time when they're in Latin America. Yeah, hopefully this video will be useful. So I'd never seen this before, but my teacher told me to start taking it when I told her about my issues. So it's called Enterogermina, and it seems like all Latinos know what this is. Again, in Canada, I've never heard about it. Maybe we have it, but because we don't have that many stomach issues, yeah, I never heard about it. So anyways, it looks like this. It looks like something you would find in a chemistry lab. And yeah, you just open it up and drink it, and I think it's full of probiotics, I believe, that help the intestines recover. Because when you have like food poisoning or this stomach illness, a lot of the good bacteria that helps you digest, I don't know, what dies or something. Yeah, it says here, restores the balance of intestinal flora. So you can only, in Mexico, you can only buy it in boxes of 20. So I have 20 of these. I'm gonna finish them all. The pharmacist and the box says take 2 to 3, a maximum of 3 a day every 8 hours. So take 1, wait 8 hours, take another one. So maybe this also helped me. I'm not too sure. It could have helped the recovery process. But for me, the thing that helped me the most to finally feel normal again and not feel helpless in Mexico was Imodium. Imodium, Imodium, Imodium. Not baking powder, no, baking soda. Not sugar pills with alcohol. It was Imodium that helped me overcome this, in my personal opinion. Of course, I was taking so many things, maybe all of them helped me, maybe one helped me more than the other, but yeah, as soon as I took the Imodium, everything was better. Everything was better. So, that was me talking about how I am now a stomach doctor. So if you ever have problems with your stomach, don't be afraid to contact me and I will tell you what you need to do. But with this video, I think you know enough. But just to remind you, because who knows, maybe a medical association of Mexico will sue me for making this video. Just so you know, I am not a professional doctor. I found this information online. Do not try this at home. I treated my body like a laboratory. Luckily, my lab experiment worked, and I am happy that I can now eat whatever I want in Mexico again. All right, so a question for you if you've watched till now. What different types of medicine did I take in order to overcome my stomach illness? That's one. Number two, which of the medications do I believe was the one that did the trick, that helped me overcome the stomach illness? And yeah, those are two good questions for you to answer. Answer them in the chat box. If you listened to me till now, yes, you have leveled up your English. Give yourself a pat on the back. Great job. And hopefully in the next video, I will not be talking about diarrhea and disgusting things such as that. Hopefully it will be something happier. But at the same time, you need to know all the English vocabulary, and this video can be helpful if you have these problems or if you have gringo friends with these problems. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, my dear student.